Have you told them not to touch frontline roles?
Well, in the case of customs, for example, I think from memory there's about 80 roles being disestablished. Half of those are actually vacant roles today, so there's actually nobody in those jobs. There's also restructuring of the CE's leadership team, as I understand it. There's also restructuring of the communications team. But ultimately that CE and that minister need to know that they're actually organising that department to actually deliver those outcomes. And that's okay. Organisations need to evolve. Organisations need to...
Unless they make a decision that the minister is not happy with. I'm going to keep saying this, you'll be sick of me by the end of this clip, like the Suicide Prevention Office, then very quickly ministers get involved.
Be retuned to make sure they actually deliver outcomes for New Zealanders.
And we've heard that from you for about a year now about
exactly.
outcomes. But
well, it's very simple. We're moving the back office priority and resources to make sure we protect and enhance frontline.
Well, it doesn't sound like you are, because these are frontline roles. These are people who are preventing drug traffickers from coming into our ports. And these, you know, Timaru, a drug dealer's now going to start targeting Timaru now.
Well, I just say to you, we are a government that is going to restore law and order. You've seen
That's not the answer to the question, Mr. Luxon. You were asked directly, will drug importers now be focusing on Timaru because customs have been decimated? And your answer to that is, we're going to get tough on crime. It's not the answer, Mr. Luxon.
Yesterday, around 3 strikes, you've seen that with the investment in more police officers coming. You've seen that with respect to gang laws. You'll continue to see that with respect to youth offending. So I would actually just let the process run.
Go to.
That sounds like, yeah, we're not going to stop it at the border, but we'll definitely catch it once it's in. Trust us.
We're not going to stop it at the border where Mr. Asia's sending it in, and I use that phrase because of Mr. Asia in the 80s. But what we'll do is when the young youth sell it on the street, we'll definitely get it then, and they'll go into one of our 5,000 new beds. Something like that, Chewy?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And now prisons are rammed, and we need to find more beds. And we can't afford it. But here comes Serco, and they're going to open some private prisons.
Kia ora again, whānau. The clip you've just watched is brought to you today by our patrons. If you want to be a part of what we do, if you want to get behind what we're doing, if you're enjoying our content and wanting to share our content, then maybe you would consider being a patron to Big Hairy News. Head to www.patreon.com/Big Hairy News to sign up to one of our levels and be a patron. At this point, we are only a listener and viewer supported show. It all comes down to you guys. If you feel like jumping on board to help, then head to patreon.com/Big Hairy News. Hooroo!